As Special Agent in Charge Brown alluded to, we're here to talk about, for the Northern District of Georgia, the material that's in front of me here today. This all comes from an operation that occurred last Friday in Forest Park, Georgia, where FBI and DEA agents assigned to the HSTF arrested two men, Rico DeVille Bice, aka Casino, and David Estevan Montillo Diaz. Defendant Bice was caught fleeing from an Airbnb rental where agents were executing a federal search warrant. Bice was carrying a rubber-banded stack of cash, about approximately $4,000, but a lot more banded cash, approximately $380,000 worth, was found inside the home, along with approximately 21 kilograms of suspected fentanyl, a money-counting machine, a vacuum sealer used to package bricks of illegal narcotics, and the Glock 19 semi-automatic pistol that's on the table. Because just 2 milligrams of fentanyl is a lethal amount, 21 kilograms is enough fentanyl to kill millions of people, and its street value is nearly $500,000. Diaz, the second defendant who's charged in this case, is a Southern California resident with no ties to the Northern District of Georgia. He was inside the Airbnb house when agents arrived. We believe that Diaz's connection to California is significant because we know, as mentioned earlier, the Mexican drug cartels smuggle fentanyl into our country over the southwest border. Here, the work of the HSTF in just a single night took millions of deadly doses of fentanyl off the street, denied the cartels more than $800,000 worth of drug proceeds between the cash seized and the value of the fentanyl seized, and led to the arrest of the two men who now face the prospect of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. This is just the latest of many successes of the HSTF here in Atlanta. Some of you may recall that Special Agent Brown and I stood here not long ago to announce the HSTF's record-breaking seizure of nearly 100 kilograms of fentanyl, approximately 150 kilograms of methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and marijuana, and dozens of firearms, including a machine gun. The squad responsible for that seizure back in June is the same squad that seized these drugs last week. And in both cases, the fentanyl was stamped with a Louis Vuitton mark to note its high potency. Because the unit cost of fentanyl is relatively low, drug traffickers and drug dealers are mixing fentanyl into a large portion of the illicit drugs that are sold on the street here in Atlanta or over the internet. More concerning is that fentanyl is commonly mixed into counterfeit pills that are pressed by drug traffickers and then sold on the street or on the internet as legitimate Xanax, Percocet, Adderall, oxycodone, or other prescription drugs. So the seizure of these 21 kilograms of fentanyl should be yet another warning to the public that fentanyl is being mixed into almost all drugs that dealers are selling on the street or online. And I cannot stress this more strongly. If a pill or a powder or another substance did not come from a doctor, a pharmacist, or some other healthcare provider, you should assume that it contains fentanyl and you should not consume it. The establishment...
Yeah. What's really happening, man? This your boy OG Gigavelli, aka Mr. Rick, y'all open. So y'all just listen to the press conference, right? For those of y'all know this case, I'm dealing with future brother Casino, free band Casino, right? There's a lot of stuff going on the internet right now. This hit the culture, you know what I'm saying? The rap game, whatever you want to call it, hit it by a storm, right? Everybody talking about, why Future, letting his brother be in the game this long, why he ain't just, why he doing this. I'm not going to focus on that aspect, right? I want to share something to my young cats, especially my young cats in Miami and Florida, right? Me being your OG, I'm finna put you up on some game, right? I just finished up 17 years in the feds. I got roped off in the crack era, right? When they gave us all that time, they gave me 21 years and 10 months for crack. Well, a lot of information came out while I was in there, the disparity between crack cocaine and powder cocaine. They know they over-sentenced us. So they came out with the First Step Act and freed all us because the cat was out the bag on that tip, right? I want y'all brothers, after watching this video, to Google The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. In this book, she breaks off how these people create these laws to keep enslaving us. So to my young hustlers out here in this game, in this dope game, you know what I'm saying? You heard what this man said, right? I'm gonna point out a few little points in this interview, right? You heard what he said about what's inside all the drugs out here right now. Fentanyl, aka fentanyl. It's in everything. It's cheap, and they using it to cut and put in everything from the top to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? From the cartels to the street to corners to the internet, right? So I'm gonna point out this. You see the words that he using, the milligrams, 2 milligrams is deadly. He using that for a specific reason, because when it come time to catching y'all and prosecuting y'all and sentencing y'all, they gonna point that out when they giving you them 30 and 40 and 50 years to life based upon how much grams you done got caught with. And most times dudes they dealing with ounces and keys of this stuff, right? So they gonna point that part out. That's one point that I wanna make, right? When they sentence you, they gonna give you all that time too. Another thing I want to point out to you is, you know what I'm saying, is the fact that the time of these arrests, he said these task forces that's in Atlanta right now, breaking news Atlanta, it was two major buses, one after another. Reason being, they create these task forces during this time so they can round y'all up, because they got these ambitious politicians who become from being prosecutors like Rudy Giuliani and all that. When they start running for office around these elections, that's why you hear brothers say, boy, it's hot out here. It's election season. It's election time. This is when these indictments come out, during the holidays. This is when they start rounding up so they can look good on the books, because they want to be the ones, you know what I'm saying, that bring these big cases. So let me point out another thing. You see how he said they know how the fentanyl coming in through the southern border of, you know, California through Mexico. They know. Why they know? Because they the ones letting you, man, listen, y'all small players in a big game. To all you dealers, to all you hustlers. Now another thing I'm gonna point out before I close the video out, to all you young brothers that's indulging in these Percocets and these pills and you know, whatever you may be doing, however you consuming your drugs, you thinking it's all cool and it's all what, that fentanyl is in there. Look at Rich Homie Quan, you know what I'm saying? Look at his early demise. So the OG, as a real OG, I'm warning y'all, stop indulging in this game that's making a slave out of y'all. That's gonna make a slave out of y'all. So it's two places y'all gonna end up going at, man, like I got up here. That graveyard or that penitentiary, if you don't listen. Now what's gonna happen is, for those y'all that don't listen, you gonna replay this video on your head when you serving them 30 and 40 years. Those y'all that don't make it to that patch of grass, that end up doing time because you ain't listening to the OG. So I'm not worrying about who's telling. I'm not worrying about, I'm telling you, don't participate at all, man. There's other ways to get paper. Free band on casino. His brother had a big brand. He could have cut himself out a legitimate hustle. He didn't have to be involved in this here. You know what I'm saying? Future them got a big brand. His brother's the brand. No, and I know maybe, you know what I'm saying? And he was included in that. You should have stayed away from this type of activity, man, because these folks know everything. They know everything, man. This your boy OG Jigabella, man. That's Wreck Y'all Open, man. Time in. Y'all stay free. I want to see you young cats win out here.